Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Coach's Box here. Thanks for being with us. We are live from a brand new place here. We're live from TJ's Bar and Grill in Peevely, Missouri. Thanks for being with us right now. And Ray Halbrook here with Livestream STL. Hope you guys are all having a great Monday evening here. And we're live from the back porch here at TJ's Bar and Grill as well. And I got some new faces here. Riley Blair, you're going to take us in here. And Riley, my friend, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. For a beautiful evening out here in the outside patio here of TJ's Bar and Grill here in Peevely. And we appreciate them offering us their graciously hosting our show here tonight. It's been we've been at La Pachanga, but La Pachanga is on vacation this week. The La Pachanga family decided to take their family out of town for a vacation, so well-deserved as well. And so we appreciate TJ's Bar and Grill opening up their place for us out here on the patio on a beautiful Monday evening here. I mean, it's definitely kind of nice out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So tonight, as you see here, I'm the Lone Ranger besides Ray over there from the Coach's Box original show here. The rest of the guys had some other plans tonight, so we brought in some special guests tonight for the show. To my right on the far end here is Josh Boole. He's from Webster Groves girls basketball coach, head basketball coach there, coming off a fantastic season this year, being second place in state in girls basketball this year. So a big congrats to him and his program. To my right here is my gracious, wonderful, I don't know if he thinks it's wonderful sometimes, but my varsity assistant basketball coach at Herculaneum Girls Basketball, and that's Kyle Bohr. And then to my left over here is Jeff Ketcherside, the Grandview boys baseball coach. He's joining us tonight for hopefully a fun show, a little bit of some different topics that we're going to talk about, not necessarily the norm of what we do, but we definitely wanted to talk about these topics. And so, with that, I'll turn it over to Ray. He'll kind of talk a little bit about, and then we'll move into some of these topics.
Yeah, so thanks for being with us again. We appreciate that. And, with some of the coaches being out and stuff, we just kind of wanted to shake it up a little bit.
Sure.
But we've got about 4 or 5 topics we're going to talk about. And our first topic, we're going to jump on here right away. It is, and let me find it here. Everybody gets a trophy. I love this one, the best one, because everybody, has kind of their own little stint on that and what their opinion is on that. But coaches, we're going to just kind of turn it over to you here as far as going and elaborating and tell us what you mean by that, Riley, as far as everybody gets a trophy.
Well, I think that the biggest thing that you get a lot of people. I hear somebody's music.
But
mine was not.
Maybe his volume. Somebody's volume. But, I think that the biggest thing is, do you think as coaches here, and maybe our audience wants to kind of chime in a little bit, but do you think that, everyone gets a trophy at a young age or a medal or a participation, the ribbon or whatever at such a young age hurts athletes, or does it help at some point maybe to get them excited? What are you guys' viewpoints a little bit on that? Anybody want to go first? I mean, we can feed off each other or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But
Josh Booles just took 2 steps backwards.
That's a big one.
I'm 100% against it. So I just think being in teaching for, I guess, going on year 15, so it's not a super long time, but there's definitely been a lot of changes in the way kids are, and I think a lot of it goes back to that. I mean, just talking about this topic with my wife and my mother at dinner this evening, and I didn't even bring it up because we were talking about it here. It just came up. So that tells you that, that this is definitely a topic people are talking about, but I think it's a big problem.
I agree.
I just hope it changes, but I'm not sure where we start.
But whose problem is it? I mean, who started it? It's not the kid. Whose fault is it? I should say.
I think
it's not the kid's fault.
For me, what I've seen is, I'll even talk about some of our basketball shootouts in the past. we were giving medals to teams just to make them because everybody wanted to come play for something instead of just coming to play and get better, and that was a huge mistake. And I told Ben and Dusty, I was like, we are not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And we quit doing it. Again, it wasn't the kids' fault at all.
I mean, as a society and stuff, it seems like we're doing that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not in sports, it's in school for different things. Make a certain map score, then we're giving them a pizza party.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're making a grade in semester, they get ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
All they have to do is make a C. All C's through semester. So the same kid that made all C's and the same kid that made all A's, they still get the same ice cream.
Yes.
What's
the incentive
stuff like that. I've seen that working in a school. And no, I'm totally against it too. I mean, Dale Earnhardt said it best. Second place is just the first loser.
Right.
And kids need to get used to that. That not everybody can win.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can be one.
Well, and I think the biggest thing about that is I think at a young age we tell kids that it's okay just to show up, and I think that's the battle that we fight maybe at a higher level as we all are high school coaches. Maybe we fought that battle at a younger age where we say maybe it's not just about showing up, it's about showing up and working hard to achieve that medal or achieve that opportunity. And I think that we've given kids, hey, if you show up, you're gonna get something out of it. And I don't know necessarily that that's the case. And I think it hurts those kids to show up just to show up. They think, well, I'm automatically going to get something because I show up. And I think that's the problem that I think is the biggest problem we have to deal with is they think that showing up makes them better. And I don't know that necessarily is part of the process of what we talk about. But, the other thing that goes about that is what are the expectations? Are the expectations set at that level and that's what kids know and that's the way they follow throughout? Or has those expectations changed as they've gotten older? And to me, that's another thing. As parents, and all of us here are parents, does our expectations change as our kids get older? And as they should. But do we teach the same thing from when they're younger to when they're older? And I think that it is the process of being parents. And to me, I think sometimes that, and I'm going to go out on a limb because I'm a parent, but I'm going to be a devil's advocate about this. I think it a little bit of it is our parents' fault, saying it's okay, hey, we're going to go get little Johnny an ice cream cone after his game because he, played first base tonight. Maybe dropped 5 balls, but, it didn't matter because he showed up tonight and he was there, and we're going to get him an ice cream cone. So I just don't know that, the expectations are there from a parent standpoint. And then also, whatever you're involved in, I think we're just giving participation because you show up. And I think that's a pure negative in my opinion.
Yeah, at a young age, with baseball and stuff and Little League, I did that 15, 20 years ago. At a certain age when they're younger, don't even keep score. It's hard. That's fine to do that, but then there's parents in the stands that are keeping scores.
Sure they are.
And they're telling little Johnny what the score was when they went home, and that's not a good thing. But and maybe work more towards stress fundamentals than just the winning and the losing aspect or the playing. And the working hard. If you work hard, then you play more to get it in at a young age. And that's hard to do because they all want to play. And they all should play at that age. But as the older they get, it's going to be harder and harder and harder to play.
And I think that as parents and as coaches, we reward kids for working hard. I think that's the difference between rewarding kids for working hard or rewarding kids for just showing up. And I think that's the expectation that we have to have, and I think that's the culture we got to change. Is it just showing up? Is that what it takes to be successful, or does it take showing up and working hard to be successful? And I think at a young age, I think that's the expectation we have to set from the get-go, and I don't know that happens. I think it's changed a little bit from when we were at that young age. I mean, it was 100%. You got a participation trophy for just showing up every day. I think times have changed a little bit in a sense, but I don't know that necessarily that it's changed to the benefit of the kids. And I think that's where we draw the line is I don't think we're benefiting these kids at all by, just giving them an opportunity to show up, and that's good enough.
I feel like the push, when this was a push, like to give kids something just for being there, is people worried about numbers. Mm-hmm. People worried about kids continuing to participate after losing, and now it's kind of become like we're trying to eliminate losing.
Right.
Nobody loses. I taught elementary PE and field day. When I first started, field day was this kid won the race, he got the ribbon or whatever the heck it was. By the time I finished that 5 years later, I was told to give the ribbons to the teacher of that class, and that they would divvy them up.
Wow.
That's just it keeps happening, and I think back to what Coach said was, who's to blame? I mean, we don't want to blame anybody, but parents calling and complaining. Mm-hmm. Parents, oh, my baby came home upset. Well, sorry, they need to learn that lesson. That lesson's gone right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at high school. In a girls' basketball tournament, why are we playing a 7th-place game of an 8-team tournament? That was never a thing, and now it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, have I played in one of those games before? Yes. Was I happy to have the extra game? Yes. Mm-hmm. But did they do that so we'd have an extra game? Or did they do that so maybe somebody was like, well, why do we only get 2, because somebody complained? That's what I think.
Right.
I don't think it was about, let's help these teams get better and play an extra game. I don't think that's what it was about.
Right.
I think it was about, it's got to be equal. Everything's got to be fair. And that's unfortunately not life.
No.
I told myself I didn't want to say that. Well, it's not life. But here I am saying it. So, I mean, it's just, This frustrates. When you told me this is what we were talking about, I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to get mad. I'm going to get frustrated. Because, again, having children, my kids are going to lose.
Oh, my.
And I'm going to let them lose, and they're going to learn from it. And that's it.
Failure.
I'm not going to call somebody and complain.
I'm a student back here, and I'm just going to ask, what is the benefits in losing? That's what a lot of people are going to ask.
Well, life lessons. There's you're always going to have life lessons where you lose. You're not going to get the promotion that he got that I didn't get.
Right.
In a company. You're not going to get maybe even the job that you went and interviewed for. The next guy is going to get it because he actually interviewed better than you did. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. I mean, there's always going to be somebody better than the next person in whatever you're at, whether it be sports or intelligence or whatever, So the life lesson is, to me, it should be, and that's when I taught my kids. Of course, my kids are all gone. My youngest one's just turned 21. That you work hard, and
you got to overcome what happened. Do you want to change? Do you want to make a change, or do you want to sit there and then you let it happen? To me, that's what it's all about. And I think that's what you're saying too. Is just
and also the life lesson is when you get older and you work hard, the reward is your paycheck on Friday.
You get paid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you go the society thing is: do you work hard to get the paycheck on Friday, or do you sit at home and hopefully somebody else gives you the paycheck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now, a lot of people are getting a paycheck, not doing that.
Well, the other thing that I think about, I think that some people can't handle being told you didn't do a good job, or somebody was better than you, and all of a sudden, I think we've given them an opportunity. They, in their minds, they're being humiliated because they got told they wasn't good enough. Well, what do you mean I'm not good enough? And that's the mentality I think that we have to change is it's okay to be told you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. And what does that do to society to make them change that? And I think that's where we got to make that change is saying it's okay to fail, but what are you going to do about it to not fail the next time? Or what are you going to do about it?
From a coaching standpoint, this is killing the idea of a role player.
Oh, yes.
Role players kids don't want to do that.
Nope.
If I'm not the show, I don't want to be there. You know, that I've seen that a ton. You know, luckily, right now, while we're good, I've got kids. They all get along and they want to play together, and that's great. But I've seen in the past, and I know it'll happen in the future. There's kids that just, I don't want to be the kid averaging the most assists. What's that going to get me?
Yeah.
And they don't get it. It will get you a lot. But, again, I think that goes back to this whole topic.
Could
Yes.
turn my microphone on.
Sure.
Another question. Amy Duncan's sitting next to me here. She's like, it's called competition for a reason. So what does that do to competition when we're continuously, just giving everybody a trophy or everybody a ribbon or everybody a medal?
Well, I'll say one thing. Yes, we went to state. That was a competition. And if your kids aren't ready for that, they're not going to go do well.
Right.
You know? And if we're setting them up for, everything's equal, everything's fair, everybody wins, not really.
Right.
Because you lose, you're done.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, it's a smack in the face. And I think it helps little kids feel good. I don't.
Well,
I'm struggling.
I think the biggest thing, and you mentioned the competition, the competitive side of it. I don't know that we, as parents, and I'm going back to this, and I'm putting this all on parents because I'm a parent myself, and all of you guys are. So I'm not bashing parents in general. I'm just bashing all of us. In that sense, is have we made it competitive? Have we talked about it being competitive when we go there? I mean, we're saying, hey, there may be a chance today that you're gonna fail at this, or you're gonna struggle at this, and are we going to teach them that it's okay to struggle? But now let's talk about what you can do to make it not struggle next time. What did you see out there? Talking about it, I think the communication side of that goes a long way. And I don't know necessarily that as a society that we talk about things more. I think we talk through these things more than we talk face to face with our kids. And I think that, once again, it's another topic for maybe later on, but technology has changed the way some of this.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Absolutely. And so I think you struggle with, I think that as parents, we don't communicate maybe that up front and saying, hey, it's competitive, and guess what? You're going to get beat. And how you handle that defeat is going to make you better. Whether you are frustrated, whether you work harder, or whether you just accept that you're not good enough. And sometimes that's a hard thing to accept as kids, and even more hard for us parents to accept that our kids aren't good enough. And, I think that's got to be the changing point. I think we've got to teach our kids that it's okay to fail. And I've taught that, in my years of coaching, I've learned that the hard way, as I've told kids, hey, you're going to fail. You're going to learn how to fail. Because if you don't know to learn how to fail, you're going to not make it in the real world. Because you're going to fail almost every day at something. And I mean, I know you talk about this, but it's a perfect example. I think that, every single day in my life, I fail at something. Whether it's my job, coaching, whether it's being a parent. At some point, I fail my kid. It's just part of it. But do I learn from it? Absolutely, I have to, or I'm not going to get any better at anything.
Well, I tell the kids in baseball, baseball's an example, if you're a 300 hitter in the major leagues, you go more likely a lot of times, you're an all-star and maybe go to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you failed 7 out of 10 times.
Right.
You failed 7 out of 10. So get
Crazy.
used to failing. It doesn't, just because you fail once doesn't mean you're a failure.
Yeah.
And, my daughter, and she went to MAC and played volleyball, and she wasn't happy. Once you get the different stages, it gets harder and harder to play.
Sure it does.
You're not the big dog anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And, she complained about her playing time. Me being old school, I said, work harder and practice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what a coach would tell you. Work harder and practice.
Mm-hmm.
That comes as a coach and as a dad.
Yeah. Should be every day.
Yeah.
Should be. Coach, what do you got?
Kyle Bohr, you're kind of
quiet
quiet
over
over
here.
here. What's up with that?
That's
right?
unusual. That's
Yeah.
very unusual.
I like it. Just kidding. Sorry, Kyle.
So they've proven that if you give trophies to people who come in last, it diminishes the kids who did well and took first. Not only does it do that, it actually hurts the self-esteem of the kids that come in last, because the kids know they aren't good. They're not as good as this person, and they don't deserve this. But, hey, here's an award for it, so now there's getting attention to it, but, hey, it's just keep trying kind of thing. So it's poor parenting strategies and poor parenting ideas that have pushed this. Think of it in school. We have kids who are in advanced classes, not because they've earned it, but because their parents complain enough that they'll just give it. The squeaky wheel gets greased. We're just going to take care of them, not because they deserve it, but because they've complained enough that we're just going to let them have it.
Right.
We do a good job, I think, in school and in sports and everything to show them the peak of the mountain, the goals. We fail, I think, showing them the mountain. I don't care if it's a hill or a mountain. It's still a path to go. And I do not want a player who has not failed. Think if you have a pitcher who throws hanging curveballs every single time. Well, I struck every kid out. Okay. What happens when that kid finally cranks it and nails it? You never want to throw a hanging curveball down the middle of the plate. But I got away with it. You got lucky. That's not good. I'd rather fail and you learn more. And then if you look at, who was it, Edison, he said I didn't fail 176 times. I found 176 ways not to create a light bulb. But we developed and we grew and changed from it. I'll give you an example. I had a group of girls. We even talked before the game, and you were going to take away their game. As we got killed maybe by 50. This happened a couple months ago. And I go to talk to them, and they're like, nope, we're going to play them because we're not going to get better if we don't play them, and this time we're going to beat them. Now, we didn't beat them. We lost by 23, but it was better than 50. So I'm like, hey, they learned from that, and they grew. And you don't need to give them an award. Pat on the back. Hey, nice job. Proud of you on this. Even with baseball,
see the reward.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to be able to see that reward. And I think as far as coaches or even as parents, you have to see the reward sometimes for it to finally
But then are you
justify.
doing it for the award, or are you doing it because you want to?
Right.
It
And
needs to turn
that's
into an internal transient of I want to do well for me, not because I want this trophy.
Yeah.
It should never be about that trophy. It should be about you. That's the goal, but it's because you want to get there, not because, I have to have that rank.
Right. And I think that, one of our listeners and watchers here that they say that they have to learn sometimes along the way that their best isn't always good enough. And sometimes, like you said, showing up and working hard, I should be rewarded. Well, maybe me showing up and working hard, I didn't get rewarded. So, then what? Then what do you tell kids? Then how do you respond to that? So I think as far as that goes, sometimes you talk about it. Hey, I don't want to play that team because we got beat by 50, and I don't want to be humiliated again by 50. Well, let's see how we've changed. Let's see what you've done to get better. Let's see what you made the adjustment to find a way to improve on your last performance. Maybe you failed miserably at rebounding or, going for the bat, and then next time, you blocked out every single time and you got 70% of the rebounds. So did that change? Did you learn from that step? Is it a step-by-step process? And I think you hit it perfectly well. We're going to the top of the mountain. We're looking for that end goal, but have we talked about the steps to get to that end goal? And I think as a society, we've always talked about what's best at the end. What's the form goal of the end, not what to do to get to that step at the end. And I think that you made a great point with there. Is I think the mountain is climbing, but what are we climbing to the mountain? Where are we getting to the top of the mountain, and what does that entail? So,
were you going to say something?
Well, I was going to say that maybe it should be that not that we got to the top of the mountain, but we tried and we didn't make it to the top mountain, but we tried to climb the mountain.
Yes. We didn't just stop and we're done with our mountain.
We didn't see the mountain and say, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. And as far as kids, I think that we as parents, coaches, we have to talk about those steps And when we achieve a step, we got to recognize that achievable goal and now say, okay, we've achieved that. What's next? And then, we keep fighting to that next step. We're not just trying to get from the first to the top in one step. And we've got a step-by-step process. And I think that maybe changes a little bit of the philosophy, and that starts at the young age. I mean, your kid just doesn't get up and start walking without being, shown and making step-by-step process on how to walk or how to crawl or how to do whatever. So I just think that comes with the process.
Parents are allowed to do whatever they want.
Oh, sure they are.
And that is the heart of it. He hit it right on the head. Advanced courses, kids aren't earning that. Mm-hmm. Someone's asking them to get in there. That's one little thing. Parents at games, out of control. There's the competitive people.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's more than not.
How many people paying AAU just because they're paying for it?
Right. But here's a question here that just came in. It says, what if youth sports recreation leagues focused on teaching and making the sport fun and gave no trophies for places, but rather rewarded positive plays and qualities of good teammates? That's a total different ball of wax, isn't it?
That's what we do at Next Level Basketball.
That's what it should be.
I think that's what 100%.
But again,
Coach
parents
Curtis,
want something.
Yeah.
There needs to be something tangible instead of just my kid is learning the game.
And I think that as far as, that's a great stopping point because I think we can kind of talk a little bit about that coming back, and then we'll move into another topic. But, Ray, we'll turn it over to you for some sponsorship opportunities and some different things before we go to a break here.
All right. Appreciate that. Thanks so much for being with us here at the Coach's Box. We are, again, live from TJ's Bar and Grill. Thanks so much to the folks over here at TJ's Bar and Grill. I'll tell you what, I just got blown away by some of their wings. Unbelievable wings here.
Phenomenal.
What did I have there? That lemon pepper. That was awesome. Some very, very awesome wings. And so check them out over here in Peevely. And we're going to step aside for just a little bit. You are watching the Coach's Box. We will be right back.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook from Livestream STL.
And I'm Zach Bone with Festus Post 253 American Legion Baseball. No, I don't like that either. Let's go back.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook with Livestream STL.
And I'm Zach Bone with Festus Post 250.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook with Livestream STL.
And I'm Zach Bone with Festus Post 253 American Legion Baseball. This summer, we're partnering with Livestream STL for a fundraiser that will bring you every game of the 2021 season right here on Livestream STL. If you're interested in signing up, please click the link below. If you're interested in sponsoring one of these games, please contact Livestream. A portion of all proceeds will be donated back to the Festus American Legion Baseball program.
We hope to see you out at the ball field and online.
Better?
Perfect. I like it. I like it a lot.
Hey Dalen, check this out. It says right here, your father and I are second cousins. We're related.
Well, if that's the case, you owe me a graduation present.
Very funny.
At least you can say you're related to an all-conference and all-district baseball player. How does that feel?
I will admit, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Hey Dalen,
Yeah.
at least you could say you're related to a famous sports media person. What's that like?
I wouldn't know. But I do know to watch the Main Street Sports Show on Livestream STL.
The Main Street Sports Show, shining a light in Jefferson County.
Very funny.
Wiley Agencies have locations in Festus and Arnold to serve you. We offer home, vehicle, business, and life insurance, as well as investments and much more. We utilize a custom approach to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. Give us a call today for great rates and savings at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Arnold office. We'll be happy to review your current coverage or just talk sports. You can also email us at SeanWiley@allstate.com.
Jefferson College has affordable degree options for students of all ages. Plus, register before December 11th and you could win a $250 book scholarship or other great prizes. Jefferson College provides safe on-site and online options and many exciting career pathways like humanities, business, social science and public service, math, physics and technology, and science and health. Students who know, go Jeffco. Enroll now at jeffco.edu.
Value. Let's talk about value right now. We here at Livestream STL believe that value is key to keeping our community at a high level. Do us a huge favor today. Talk to your athletic director about the value that Livestream STL brings to your school. Talk to your superintendents as well. Let them know that you want Livestream STL in your schools because we bring high levels of value back to your kids. Thanks again for watching the broadcast.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Kroedinger with Home by SMCI. Whether it's residential or commercial, we have the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, even help dust in your house. They install easily, less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products that we do offer, give us a call at 636-337-4444 or send us an email at service@homebysmci.com.
What you guys do for Jefferson County sports, it doesn't go unnoticed by the coaches in all sports.
Yeah,
all
I appreciate
sports.
that.
You know, I have a lot of friends that are head, basketball coaches, and I've been, of course, around Jefferson County all my life and followed all kinds of sports, even before I got into the coaching. So what you guys do to help promote it with the kids is unbelievable, and we appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
For you guys to take your time and what you do is awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, we try, we work hard, and we think they deserve it. The kids deserve to be able to be seen, and if we can turn out kids in the community to better them, get them in college, and make them a better citizen, that's the key.
Hi, this is Coach Riley Blair from the Herculaneum Black Cats.
Hi, this is Coach Jarvis from the Herculaneum Black Cats.
Hi, this is Coach Zach McVeigh with the Jefferson Lady Blue Jays.
Hi, I'm Chris Miller from St. Pius X High School.
And you're watching the Coach's Box.
And you are watching the Coach's Box
on Livestream STL.
On Livestream STL.
And we are back for round number 2 here of the Coach's Box. Thanks for being with us here on a Monday evening here. And we're going to continue some more topics, some more questions. And we're going to bring it over here to the guys, open up their microphones very slowly. All right, no pop in there, but
it's a great idea.
That's a very good idea right there. So we want to go into our next. Do we want to stay where we're at, or do we want to go to the next?
We can go on to the next one.
Go to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the next topic. Next topic right here is, wait for it. How much sports is too much? And I'm going to let you explain that a little more there, Mr. Blair.
Well, I think that this goes for all sports, but at a young age, do you think there's a cutoff point of too much for a kid? If it's kids doing 3 sports year-round, what's too much at what age? And do you think that, at an 8-year-old should be playing 35 baseball games, playing in 12 or 14 basketball games in the summer, and then maybe, pitching in, let's say 75 innings as an 8-year-old? Do you think that is too much on an 8-year-old? Or do you think that we should limit certain age groups to certain activities and time frames and the philosophy of that? I think that's the thing that do you think it hurts them as they get older, or do you think it helps them to progress and get better as they get older? Guys, anybody want to step in and see what your thoughts processes are? Or?
I mean, when we're talking about an 8-year-old, I have an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Not particularly into sports right now, so that hurts my heart, but that's okay.
There's
but
still
you're
time.
you're not pushing it on him, right?
No,
not
no.
pushing it on him, which is
the only one
important.
pushed is golf.
What a surprise!
If he's gonna golf, he's gonna swing the club. That's it.
That's right. I like it that though.
I guess I'm on the fence here because I think young kids can play all those games. You know that their body's gonna be fine. You know, when I look at it from a physical standpoint. But if it's a AAU type situation and you know there's the yelling and the coaching to where it's only about winning, then I think that's more detrimental than playing all the games at the younger ages. You start getting into middle school, you start getting into high school. I think now you're talking about kids can get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think burnout hits. You know, we're not talking about specializing in one sport. That's a whole night.
Oh my goodness,
conversation
yes.
too. But you know that I think that's really if it's a little kid just playing that one sport, I think that could be bad.
Yes.
But if they're playing multiple things, I think I'm leaning towards saying it's okay, unless it's that super over competitive. If we're talking about that 8-year-old group, you know, we're talking about a little older. Okay, it can get a little more heated. I'm okay with that. But I think that young group, I think I would lean towards it's okay to play.
And I think one of the things that I see as a parent, the kids that I have, you know, my youngest is 7 and my oldest is 15, and you know the difference between the two is I think my 7-year-old could probably handle a little bit more than my 15-year-old, like you said. But you know, I don't ask my 7-year-old to do as much as I do my 15-year-old. So at that point, how do you define what's too much, and at what age is it too much, or when do you start introducing maybe more things to a kid? Is it about their ability, or is it just about, you know, maybe introducing it to them at that age and then letting them decide how much they want to do or how much they want to put into it or whatever? Because I think, and from my standpoint as a parent, you know, I'm not going to push my 7-year-old to go and do whatever I want them to do. I'm going to give them opportunities and say, hey, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do this, and then let them choose what they want to do at that age. If you know, my kid wants to go play in an AAU basketball team, and goes to play in 60 games in the summer or spring, and that's what they want to do, then I'm going to allow them to do that. But is that the difference? I mean, do you as parents, or do you think as a society that we maybe step back a little bit and reevaluate that? Because I mean, we're seeing a lot of injuries to high school age kids in the last 3-5 years, I think, that maybe have a little bit to do with maybe their prior years, or do you think that is something that's causing that?
I mean, I think in basketball, 2 games a day is a max. Once you get into 3 and 4, now you're opening up injuries kind of thing. I mean, baseball, I mean, can you catch 2 games back-to-back in 110 degrees heat index? Now you're looking at injury, but, I mean, could he play third? Probably. He could probably play 3 or 4 games.
I will say with basketball, you don't see that the AAU stuff anymore where they're playing 3 games in a day.
No.
Very, very rarely. Maybe if they made it to the championship or the 17th place game, you know. But I will say more often than not, they have cut that away. But I remember it used to be you're going to go play 4 games in a day.
And they do it with volleyball still.
And that's crazy. I think I'm okay with volleyball doing that.
And I don't know how
personally, like I would say that
is.
sport.
I agree.
I think it could be.
And
this topic could be
I
by
went
sport
through that,
too.
yeah, with volleyball, and I'm, you know, I said after break, you know, we got up and I said I'm just sitting down. I get stiffened up. I'm the old guy here. I raised 5 daughters, you know, and I never pushed them into anything. I had 3 that that ended up dancing. They wanted to dance. And then
Kyle loves to dance.
And he's got the he's got the legs for it.
Wow! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
And two played sports, and they played 2 sports in high school, and both of them were pretty darn good at it. But I never pushed them.
Couldn't dance.
I never pushed them. Well, the two that played sports, my wife, because she was the dancer, she signed them up, but they didn't want to do that. We signed them up. They start early then too, and they did something that they didn't want to do.
Sure,
and that's fine. You don't have to. And the ones that danced, that they didn't want, didn't play sports. Well, that's fine also. And the age-wise, I think it depends on the kid. I mean, there's kids' maturity difference, and you got to watch it. The main thing about a lot of this stuff is the kids don't eat and sleep properly like they should.
True.
At the ages.
And that has a lot to do with this
here.
Has
a lot to do with, this, or being on a computer and playing video games with all their buddies up until 2 or 3 o'clock at night.
Yes.
And their dinner that night was mom and dad ran through McDonald's drive-through. And listen, this is not a parent bash thing.
No.
Because I think the past topic before, I think, is more of a society-based, not the parent-based.
Agreed.
The first subject we had. And I don't want to bash, because, listen, I've been the one to go through the drive-through. It's easier. It's late, We've been doing this all day, and stuff. But, it's tough. But I think certain kids handle it differently.
Sure.
And you got to know your kid. And coaches, it's coaches, they should know the kids too, like playing wise, like you said. Can a kid catch in the first game of a doubleheader, then come back and play the field? Yeah, some kids can. Some kids could come in and catch a first game, and then come in and play third base, and maybe come in and catch the last part of the second game.
Right.
Some kids, and some kids may need to hold that second game off as a break.
Yeah,
it's just you have to know the kid.
I feel like these topics, we would revisit these topics, and we need 2 parents that don't coach, because I think, knock on wood, this is a pretty level-headed group, because we coach.
Right.
I think none of us are saying, oh, man, I drive my kid into the ground. We're not doing that, but there's parents doing it. And if were they the stud in high school? I see that sometimes. Or were they the kid that never made the team, and now they're like, oh, my kid can do this,
Maybe.
But I think to have some feedback from those people, maybe in the chat, I don't know if you can say, oh, I'm not a coach, I feel this way.
Right. And I know that one of these comments, it comes from a coach as well. Curtis Davis says, I believe a lot of input should be up to the athlete or the kid. They should be asked questions, and their joy should be the main focus. Are they having fun? If they're not playing with joy or don't think the experience is fun, then it may be too much. And I think at that point, I'm going to go back to the communication side of it. As parents, are we asking our kids those questions? As adults, as coaches at that young age, let's say we're coaching an 8-year-old team, are we asking those kids, hey, did you enjoy practice today? Anything you didn't enjoy about it? I think to me, at a younger age, I think we need to be focusing a little bit more on maybe the part of, is it fun? Because I don't think if it's not fun, I don't believe that it's going to be beneficial.
It's a job.
And
some of these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like as a society, we've lost interest in enjoying what we're doing. It's become a job. It's not something I enjoy doing every day because it has become a job. And I think that is a standpoint. I coach my son's 12U baseball team, and I preach to those kids every single day. Got to show up and have fun. If you're not having fun, you're not going to be successful. Right. Just simply for the fact that if you're worried about making a mistake or you're worried about not doing the right thing, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to do the right thing, and you're going to make mistakes.
Right.
But if you're going out there playing with some, I'm going out here playing fun. I enjoy this opportunity just to be out here. Probably good things are going to happen to you. And I preach that to those 12-year-olds, but I don't know that necessarily that's the message being preached across the board at home or other coaches or other programs or philosophies. And at a young age, if it's not fun, you're losing interest tremendously, or you're losing focus, or you're losing energy, you're losing effort. And when that comes in, then that's the risk of injury. That's the risk of possibly, maybe giving up something that they could be very, very good at. But we're pushing them too much. We're doing too much. We're asking too much of them at a young age. Where does that stop? Where does that need to make the change at? And I think that's the question that as parents and as coaches, we need to be communicating that more.
Right. But if you stop when it stops being fun, you've already missed it.
No, agreed.
You have to stop it, because how many kids, I want to play another game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to play that other game. I want to play that other game. Well, then all of a sudden, 2-3 years later, it's like, I'm kind of done playing.
Right.
I'm done playing 35 games in 2 months for the last 3 years. I want to go out and hang out with my friends. I'm 16 now.
Right.
And now you've lost them. But, hey, maybe if you did 22 and by the time they're 16, I can still do that because I can still have a social life and a friend life and things like that. Some kids, like you said, it's up to the different kids. Some kids will still do and drive those. I mean, you see the gymnastics girls. I mean, they're in they're in the true Olympians. They're in the gym probably 14 hours a day going through stuff. I mean, your dance titles things are all day long. Mm-hmm. Volleyball tournaments are all weekend longs every single time. So it's up to those kids. But if you stop when they're not having fun and more fun, to me, you've already lost.
I agree.
You need to stop it before then, when it's still enjoyable, that they're willing to come back to it.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of things here. Something that was just posted by my esteemed colleague, co-producer here, Amy, earlier here. I think their hunger for the sport is more at a younger age than as when they get older. A lot of truth to that. So I'm a father of 3 boys, and I have 3 completely different kids. Mm-hmm. My oldest is 22 now, 23. He's was probably of the 3 the most natural athlete. Okay, and I would probably say if I put all 3 of my kids to ask, they'd probably say, yeah, my oldest Caleb was probably the most athletic. Second most athletic might be Curtis, but my youngest is 11. He played 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years of floor hockey with me. It was floor hockey. We played a little baseball, played a little bit of that. But my oldest was absolutely the no doubt about it was the athlete. Okay, the middle son had to work at everything. The youngest one had a lot of fun and lost interest. Mm-hmm. So I got 3 completely different situations here.
3.
I agree with what Amy said, because coaching in this floor hockey league, I've probably had 2 kids that were on this team that were absolute 100% natural athletes. They're going on. It didn't matter what they played. They played baseball. They played everything, it seemed like, and they were really good at it. Okay. So one of the kids goes off, and he's playing baseball now, and he's playing like select teams, and he's doing a great job. And I mean, this kid's young. He's catcher. He's a pitcher. He can do everything. He's an absolute stud. Okay. Other kid, most amazing natural ability to, knows it and just has a blast doing it. He's one of those kids that's just like, dude, you get PO'd because he's so naturally talented. Okay. And so you've got those kids. Now I've got another kid on the same team. Did not show much spunk. Didn't show a whole lot. Like, oh yeah, I'm kind of getting it and everything. Leaves my team, goes and starts playing ice hockey. Okay, and now he's absolutely lighting it up. So I don't think there's a right answer necessarily.
No, there isn't.
But I think the most important part about that is being able to kind of have that instant discernment, if you will. Kind of put your finger on that kid and say, this is what's probably going to happen with that kid. And I know you guys as coaches especially probably seen that turnstile of different kids that come in where you're going to say, yeah, that kid doesn't look like he's going to do much. And then you turn around 5 years from now and that kid's lighting it up. But it's just weird how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And
we're talking about asking for parents.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a parent. If it's not fun when they're younger, they're not going to want to continue playing.
True.
I think that's a key factor there. What another parent says. So as a parent, I allow my daughter to set her pace. If she feels like she can handle it, then I support her. When she says the extra practices or games are too much, then we stop it. I think that's a standpoint of, you allow that kid to express themselves.
Right.
And you don't just say, hey, we're going to go play 4 basketball games today, or we're going to go play in 3 baseball games today, and you're going to do it.
Right.
We're going to ask those kids, hey, if there's any point that you don't want to continue doing this much, let me know. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that same parent said we balance sports with friend time. Yes, there are games on weekends, but we can still fit in sleepovers, movie nights, swimming, bowling, whatever it takes. We have to put that time up. And I think that is the big standpoint is you're not just focusing those kids on just playing, play, and don't have time for just be a kid. And just go out and do the kids stuff or do the family stuff or, hey, let's go out with maybe, they got 3 other siblings and those 3 other siblings don't do any sports, but every Saturday they're at the baseball fields watching you play. At some point, you got to go out and do some things that they want to do, and so you got to sacrifice sometimes for one or the other or whatever. And I think to me, that's another thing that I think causes kids not to want to do it is they have other siblings that do other things, and they're never being able to be a sibling to those other ones and go to experience and watch them do other things. And I think that sometimes is a really difficult thing to address at that point. And I don't know what you guys think. I mean, you had kids that did multiple things. Did you ever stop and say, hey, let's go watch your sister play, or let's go watch that sister do this, dance, or whatever?
Yeah, because we always had stuff going on. We was always running. I mean, we was always going places, whether it be volleyball games, basketball, dance recitals, or dance practices, or basketball practice, or volleyball practice, and and we let the kids, the kids' personality and determine what they really want to do sometimes.
Right.
And a lot of things here is genetics kind of lets the kids determine what they're going to do too.
That's a true statement. Very true.
My 2 ones that were good in volleyball and basketball, well, one was 6'1" and one was 6 foot. I mean, and my oldest daughter, who was a very good dancer, make 5'6" if she's stand on her toes. So it's a little different.
Sure.
Even though she played sports, she played middle school sports, but then when she got in high school, she went strictly to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I had another one who danced outside of school, played sports inside of school, and then she played even in high school the first couple of years because she wanted to be with her friends. But then when she got to be where she's going to be on varsity, and we knew that, and she realized, we talked to the coach, and she realized that she probably wouldn't have much playing time. She'd be on a team, but she'd just be with her friends.
Right.
If she wanted to play. Well, she made the decision herself. Well, I think I'll just go get a job and work and make some money. That's fine. Go do that. I mean, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
And as parents, we got to let them kind of make their own decision and kind of determine their pathway a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. And I think that goes to point to it is if we're not allowing them to make decisions, and then those decisions may end up in failure, do they learn from it? And do we get something out of that? So sometimes I think we're afraid to tell our kids, yeah, go ahead and do that. Because as parents, we know what the outcome's probably going to be, but it's okay to allow them to fail. And I think sometimes as parents, we don't want to ever see our kids fail because we feel like we're a failure to them by letting them do that. And I had a really good conversation with one of my basketball parents about this same thing. They kept asking me, why are you telling my kid it's okay to fail? And, I told them, if they don't learn from failure, they're never going to make it in the real world. I mean, when you leave high school and get out in the real world and you don't know how to fail, you're going to struggle mightily because there's so many things that you can fail at every single day that you don't realize it. And that parent finally understood what I was talking about, and that changed the whole aspect of her as a parent, and she's told me that multiple times. But I wasn't saying anything that I wouldn't tell any other parent. You got to let your kids fail at something. You can't let them expect that they're going to be good at everything. You know,
you're not telling the kid to be a failure, but it's all right that if you fail, it's all right.
Yes, yes.
If it drives you to work harder, that's good.
Right.
If you learn something from it, that's good.
Even better.
funny.
Yeah.
You know.
And I don't know that necessarily that this opportunity has done that, where you take an 8-year-old. Let's go back to that 8-year-old thought process. You take an 8-year-old and you tell them, "Hey, you're not very good at this. I don't think you need to do it anymore." But Dad, I'm having a blast. I love it. This is fun. At what point do you say, no, you're not doing it, or do you allow them to continue to keep doing it even though they're not very good at it, but they enjoy it and they're having a lot of fun?
Well, God, I'd love to hear that.
You have different.
I'd love to hear kids do that.
I agree.
Kids don't do that right now.
No. And that's why I think that's what we need to get to, because is it too much at that point? No, I don't think so. But I think it's too much when you come at an 8-year-old and you say, "You're a lot better than that. What's wrong with you? Why are you not doing better at this? Why are you not doing this better?" or whatever. I think that's the process that's changed, and that's the mentality that's changed from the kid's standpoint to the parent's standpoint, and vice versa, is, are we listening to those kids? Are we listening to those kids at that age? Are we asking them about that? Are we talking to them about, hey, are you enjoying it? Is it fun? Or are we just saying, no, you're going to go out there and do that. You're going to get better. I don't care if you're not having fun or not. You're going to continue to keep doing it because.
And I think that's a fine line, because at 8 years old, they may not be very good, but they could end up being pretty good.
Agreed. 100%.
So it's tough.
Yes.
It's tough.
Yes.
It's really tough.
It's hard to tell what somebody's going to be at 8 years old.
No, it's 100% hard.
They could grow a lot, and would make a big difference on the growth spurt on how they are, or the coordination wise of how they get when they get to be older.
But if you're pressuring them at that age, and you're not asking them, hey, are you enjoying this? At what point is it fair to the kid? If they're not having fun, what point is it for them to march out there and do that every day in and day out if they're not enjoying it?
Well, and I think that's the opposite out there. Like, when I was growing up, if I wasn't having fun, guess what? I was not talking about it.
Yeah.
Where kids now are going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Kids are just going to say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Where before, like, I just had to keep doing it. I didn't really like baseball. I played it, no offense. But I played it growing up. I mean, played it a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just kept doing it, Where now I think kids are like, I'm not doing it. I know my 8-year-old, hey, I don't want to do basketball, and it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a little push. Hey, what about now? And I have some people in my family that suggest making him do it because he is at a young age, right? He doesn't know. It's tough. It's really tough.
I will go off of that, and I'll speak from my personal experience. Okay, I have a stepdaughter that was phenomenal at one sport, was really, really good at it, but she just didn't have fun. And she came to me and said, hey, I don't want to do it anymore. I had to swallow my pride, and I thought she was phenomenal at it, and she would have been really, really good at it, but she wasn't enjoying it, and she didn't want to do it anymore. So I had to swallow my pride and say, all right, then you don't have to do it anymore. After the season's over, you don't have to go back and do it. And she said, I want to try something different. I want to go do another sport. At what point did I say, no, you're continuing with this? I thought it, and I wanted to say it, but you got to let those kids make those choices and learn from them. And she may go and do this other sport and not be very good at it, or not like it and not want to go back, and then may want to go back. And that's okay. But I think me allowing her to do this, I think, will be an eye-opener for her in a standpoint. And I think that's something that we don't do a lot of. We don't allow those kids to make those decisions and then fall back on it. What did you learn from it? What did you get out of that? What did you learn from it? Get better at
it?
So,
oh yeah, you're 100% right.
So,
no, role player. It's not a thing.
I agree.
I'm only have a 2-year-old, but my kid, and I feel like looking at things now, all these coaches and programs and select stuff, everybody's trying to grab these kids because it's a money grab. I want this kid. I need this because I need money. Oh, just play. You're just going to be all. I hate volleyball. The only thing that irritates me right now with volleyball is, at least in Jefferson County, they think that they're just a volleyball athlete at 12 years old. It's like, you haven't even played anything. Like, go dance, go something.
Volleyball's one of the worst.
And so my kid, and I grew up in the city where there was a bunch of Catholic schools and CYC was still booming, but my kid's going to go play soccer. I'm going to make him play in a basketball league, in a baseball league. My family's hockey players, so he's going to go play hockey. But you don't have to play at Scott Gallagher for soccer. I'm not going to pay $2,000 for him to play. I'm going to play in this fun league, couple practices a week. Here's a couple games. Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it? All right. And then the same thing, I mean, schools introduced music at an early age. The Muni's free. I'm going to be taking them there. Do you like theater? Do you like this? Do you want to go to the dance?
The
Do you
fun
want
leagues
all of that?
are disappearing.
Correct.
I want it with the initial topic. We were talking about too many games, right? Okay.
Too much. Win is too much.
For basketball, it's AAU. And those coaches and more college coaches are just going to that stuff.
Oh, yes.
And I do have to agree with that. I don't like it. They need to be coming to high school games. It's better games, in my opinion. I was curious. I wanted to ask about baseball. Do kids get looked at the same in a baseball season as they would in a Legion or whatever travel? I don't know for baseball how that works. Do more colleges go recruit there or in the high school season?
I mean, parents think it's the summer league.
Yeah,
select.
You know, but then we get back to I'm always cautious when I hear a kid coming through. He plays select. Well, until I seen that really doesn't mean nothing to me.
It used to.
They used to, but there's so many select teams out there.
It's all money. It's all money.
It's that just because the kid played select doesn't mean determine how good he is.
No.
I'll take that back. It's not all money. I do know select teams, AAU programs that try to teach kids, and I appreciate those people, and they know who they are. But I also know others that it is a money grab. The more games I go, the more I can charge you, that kind of stuff. And that's where the amount of games is an issue compared to when they're little, if they're not really doing that AAU thing,
And in baseball, you have some of the higher ones in the city that are high-dollar ones that have maybe, in their program, former Cardinal players and stuff like that that's got name things.
Yes.
But they're not coaching the kids, but they're in
the program.
Basketball, it's Brad Beal Elite. It's Larry Hughes Academy. And
they're promising these kids they can get them scholarships and stuff. Well, can you? Or and what kind of scholarship is it?
Yeah.
Here in Jefferson County here,
I still want to say so.
It's in baseball, so you get a scholarship to some NAI or some Division III, but in Jefferson County here, you can just as well have Zach see you and sign you a Jeffco, and probably be a whole lot better off playing there.
Yeah, get a lot more out of it.
A lot of superficial kids too that think that's not a good move.
Well, or parents thinking, well, hey, my kid's going and playing in a 4-year college.
Yeah.
But it's not really the best thing for him.
No.
I wish I would have gone to Jeffco. I would have won nationals and probably had it gone to a better college after the fact.
Yeah, and I think that's the mentality, and I you said it. I think as a whole, I think everybody thinks that the select sports is what's going to get their kid noticed. I don't think that select sports in general is, but I think it's certain ways select sports is ran is going to change it. And I don't know that select sports today. 10 years ago, well, that was a lot of static there.
I brought the static.
Oh, well, Coach Jarvis is here.
Straight from Emo.
Yep. You didn't bring a pizza?
No.
Really?
We didn't order one.
It was a very slow night. So,
but I think that as far as the select side of it goes, I think that we've set that precedent in the last 10 years that it's all about select. And another good point that we could talk about a long time is do you think Select is going to end high school sports?
No.
At some point?
No, I don't think it will.
Take it over.
Maybe not end them.
But like you were saying earlier, I wanted to jump on him. What scholarships are we getting these kids? So if a kid got a scholarship, oh yeah, I got all my AAU players signed. How much scholarship is he? How much is he paying? How much loans is he taking out? I went to Central Methodist for, it's a private school. I couldn't afford to go there now.
Shoot, no.
And it won't be posted what it was for.
No.
But mom and dad are like, well, they got a scholarship and they can tell everybody that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It may have been $2,500 a year.
Yeah.
And you just spent quadruple that putting your kid through one summer of
Well,
AAU.
some of them as much as they spend on their
Just save
select
it for
programs.
college. Just save it
for college and send them to a really good college.
Yes.
But to me, the select or club. My daughter played club volleyball, and she played different ones. And to me, you play that to get more what I would call volleyball or baseball or basketball IQ. I think
for sure.
Do they have that's what I look at. Do they have a good baseball IQ because they played in the summer a lot?
Totally agree. Only thing is, have you ever been to one of those? You've been to those volleyball. Gosh, that's the worst. Going to a AAU volleyball tournament that starts at 6 or 8 in the morning and ain't over till 8 at night.
Well, it's long.
That's the worst thing ever.
I've been to Orlando to the Nationals, and
no offense to volleyball,
but that was pretty fun.
Well, sure, yeah.
When they played
well,
DSP,
yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, but it's. But I've been to the ones where you've been in a place where you're in a small gym and you're sitting up against the wall eating snacks too. It kind of.
Well, and you've lost 3 in a row, but then you still get to play down in this bracket, and then you lose a couple more and play more. I'm like, does this ever end?
The Brown division.
Yes.
The Brown division. There you go.
All right, guys. Well, let's turn it over to Ray here for a break. We'll come back and finish our last segment here and a couple of little topics that we'll talk a little bit about, and then we'll close the show out. So, Ray, it's over to you for a commercial break.
Appreciate it. And you are watching the Coach's Box. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I think Main and Mill Brewing Company is basically something created on community, created on the idea that local pubs still exist and are a good place to be, not just for somebody looking for a beer, but for a family to come in and grab a bite to eat. I think the original business model that we had was making sure that we are a family hub. We're in the middle of still redoing our Barrel Works building, putting beers in cans, being able to do more kegs. We're beginning the planning elements of a new tap room with potentially some food elements and everything along that lines that kind of expands the idea of Main and Mill into something maybe a little bit different, a little bit more in a new location. All of that's been created by the love and support that we've gotten from around the community. It's something we're proud of. I think the community's proud of it, and hopefully we can continue to make the community proud with an expansion that we've got going in the works now.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. Knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
I do this for the love of the kids. I do it for the love of the coaches and the ADs because there's not enough high school coverage in the St. Louis area. There's just not. Once again, I get to keep my relationships with guys like you and a lot of the other great coaches and administrators and former athletes. And that's one of the cool things that we're going to do here too. Is I've been fortunate covering some great great coaches and great kids, but the Caravan is. I wasn't letting it die, and sure enough, we're here now, and the reboot is in full effect.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook from Livestream STL. And I'm Danny Sigmund with Rock Memorial Post 283 American Legion Baseball. We'll be partnering this summer with Livestream to bring you all of Rock's action for the entire season online. If you can't make it out to the field this summer, please click the link below. You'll be able to watch all the action online. And if any businesses out there would like to sponsor us, please reach out to Ray at Livestream STL. Part of the proceeds that are generated will go back to the baseball program.
We hope to see you online and at the ball field. We hope you're enjoying tonight's presentation. Take advantage of the HD experience here with Livestream STL by going to the TKDS Sports Network app. Download the app and subscribe by going to videos.tkdssports.com. That'll get you access onto our TKDS Sports app, Roku, and Fire Stick. And thanks so much for your support of Livestream STL.
This Livestream STL has been a huge asset for Jefferson County sports, in my opinion. I mean, getting these athletes the camaraderie that they're out there and people can see them. I mean, to be honest with you, I got a call from a coach yesterday about one of my athletes that said that they saw some of her games on Livestream STL.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that right there instilled to me that this is important. This is important for those kids. And so, I think it's great, and I wish you guys the best. And if you're out there and you want to sponsor, this is a great opportunity for kids to support kids of our local kids and get them support and get them acknowledgement out there, because we have a lot of great athletes in this county.
Well, we appreciate that. And at the end of the day, our mission is much the same as your missions, coaches, to help shine a light on these kids. And get them exposure and get their name out there and help them. And if they can advance, they're better off, we're better off as a community, and that's why we're here.
Hey, this is Chris Miller, and you're watching the Coach's Box on Livestream STL, the best sports streaming show there is on Facebook.
And we are back for our final segment here. No trivia tonight, and all of the trivia players are saying boo.
Darn, I'm pretty good at trivia too. I'd like to take on Miller.
The trophy's still sitting on my counter at my house.
Gosh, Lordy.
Well, I knew we weren't having it, so I didn't.
Well, I'm leaving. Me and Kyle, we're out. I was promised we would have a trophy.
Well, all of us should have get one. The trophy.
Right. Where's my ribbon?
Oh, you saw I put on there everyone wants an ice cream.
I thought you were going to bring the ice cream.
My attendance ribbon. Oh, here, everybody gets an attendance water.
That's what it was.
I pulled a McVay.
Brought to you by TJ's.
And kept the trophy. I pulled a McVay, and every time he wins, he has a trophy for 2 or 3, 4 days.
He does.
Oh, he really does.
Who's McVay?
Who is that guy?
Who is McVay?
I know, who is that?
Where is McVay?
I saw some
Where
Miller
is
commercial.
McVay?
He's like, where's
Miller?
Waldo?
Where's
Miller
Miller?
Lite is a sponsor?
No, he's like
Miller.
It's Miller Heavy.
Miller Heavy.
Spool, this is a family show.
And Miller's terrible anyway.
Oh, wow. You say that he's not here.
Well, I'm from. I know what talking about.
Miller. I've heard
Miller.
Every time I get on and watch, Miller's always on his phone.
Oh man!
You almost made me use my sound effects, but I can't use that right now.
Wait, he's not here. I guess.
Boo. No,
I was always told if you're not here, then you're free game to get railed.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right.
Well, I could tell you some stories about him being my assistant coach. So
Go for it.
Hey, all right.
Segment 3.
We figured out the segment.
Segment
we figured
3.
It out.
Chris Miller.
Miller
go.
time.
It's Miller time.
It's Miller time. Yeah.
Go,
Here we go.
baby. Go.
That's a good
There it
idea
is.
for a segment for
Yeah.
him. We'll
I'm
just
waiting
call it
for him to
Miller
start
time.
commenting on
Right.
here or something.
Oh no, he's not.
He's probably not watching.
He's
on the farm.
He had some.
So did we choose which direction we're going
Yeah, we're
with
going
this
to go with
last
the
one?
second one you did.
Okay, so here it is. Here is our final segment, and we're going to talk about no college requirements for the NBA or the NFL. Meaning,
Do you think that there should be the kids should be able to be eligible for the NFL or the NBA right out of high school?
Gotcha.
Do
All
you
right.
think that that's
This is such a terrible
thing? And then I know we've talked about it, but now that college athletes are going to be allowed to be paid, does that change the philosophy of a high school kid having an opportunity to be paid as a college kid, and maybe not going to the NFL or the NBA because they're being paid as a college student athlete?
When
Does
we
that
were
change?
when we were talking about which topic to do, I didn't think about this part, but what I hate is even if, let's say, okay, every kid has to get an associate's degree.
Mhm.
Okay. Tell me there aren't colleges that won't just push it for them.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's real easy to give.
Oh, yeah.
They
Totally.
did that. They got their associates in nothing.
Mhm.
General studies
Yes.
or. So that kind of throws a wrench in all my ideas that I had when you were like, which topic should we talk about? And I go, man, they'll just give it to them anyways. It's
so did we choose the wrong subject for you?
Ray, I will talk about anything.
Well, the other topic that we talked about, where we wanted to talk about, was, do you think that technology has changed high school sports?
Oh,
So, do you think
yes.
that that's something that would be more beneficial to talk about as a whole, or do you think that, maybe
Well, I
the
won't even-
kids going to college was more important than just being able to come out of high school and go into the NBA or the
That's affected all age groups, dude. I've watched my nephew down at the Twin City Little League. These kids can't even throw a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
There's kids out there that no one has went outside with them and thrown a baseball.
Yep.
Because they're down there, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't remember being like that. Most of the kids when I was that age came in, they could throw, they could catch. they could
Maybe
use
I'm
a glove.
confused on the topic. Are we talking about kids being on tech and causing them to not
That's what-
participate?
that
Or are
was-
we talking about
Technology.
things like Huddle and
That's what I-
technology that
that's
helps
what I thought
sports?
as well. Yeah,
that's what
I don't know what we're talking about.
I think either
Ray?
one of them we can go with that. I don't think it was a defining
Because
question.
you're 100% right. But what, I was thinking like you're thinking, but you are 100% correct.
Okay, well, we go with what he's thinking. I was following with what he
and
said.
I had it either way. I didn't really specify that. I think that technology has changed high school sports in both ways, and I think we could talk about both ways. But I honestly believe I got the thought process from the idea: has technology and this or a computer changed the way high school sports is done? Has it changed the philosophy of high school sports? Has technology, as far as a computer, a telephone, or whatever, changed the way high school sports is
Well,
done?
shoot, you can get a big old box called a Noah that'll give you the arc angle of your free throw, and that we had that at Pacific, and it was really cool, but it was really tedious and kind of pain in the butt to use. But back to not to say you were wrong, because
No,
I
I'm
am 100% with what he's talking about too, because
It's 'cause
as
they're
a
on
PE
knees.
teacher, there are kids that don't step when they throw.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Don't even know.
And this is a high school. I'm talking about high school kids. That's crazy.
Yes.
They've probably never played catch outside. Never.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
but-
threw something at their mom because they didn't buy them what they wanted.
Yeah.
That might be the only thing they threw.
Well, think
It
about it
just-
anytime you go out to eat and you see a family with 2 or 3 little kids. What are they on?
Some
They're-
iPad
they're on
or phone.
this.
Okay, I am guilty with that because I want them quiet.
Well, I'm
wanna
just
enjoy
saying-
my meal.
I'm using that as an example of why
Yeah,
they can't
yeah.
throw or they can't catch. They can't.
Well, I'm going to be the.
Well, that's the parents' fault for not taking them out and working with them and letting them be on this or the
Mhm.
computer or whatever, their laptop or whatever the world it is, or video games. I guess video games now are actually on the computer. It shows you how much I know. The thing we had in our house, the only thing we ever had was a Wii. And, with my kids
Not
growing
an
up.
Atari?
It was active.
We might have had an Atari, maybe. Might have, because my oldest daughter was born in '85, so maybe we did have one. I don't know. But we wasn't a computer. We wasn't a gamer family because I never bought the games for the kids.
Right.
The console things, whatever the new one was that year. But PS27, whatever,
PS27. Is there such thing?
I don't know.
It's not quite that high.
But what I'm saying is, we never brought it into the household, so the kids never played it.
Never had a chance.
That we did a Wii when they were younger because, well, at least they had to actually move.
Yes.
Well, let me tie this in with our first segment. Your phones, I know. Your phones have created kids.
Miller, turn it over.
Have created kids to get everything instantly. If they want shoes, they order it. It's here the next day.
Mm-hmm.
If they want,
not just kids.
I was going to say,
right?
I have
if
that
I want
problem.
food, I order it. It gets delivered to me. Nothing has to be wait.
Yep.
Right? And then even on games, they don't play the Zeldas anymore. They want stuff that they can level up quickly.
You remember blowing in the cartridge?
Yes.
That actually ruined it because you had more water.
So
for the
I
Nintendo.
think I know where you're going with this. So they should just show up in the basketball court and make every three they shoot because it's just like the video games, right?
What
Level
everything
up.
it is so
Notice I said three.
instantaneously and going in gamifications, except you can get everything instant. Yeah, you can get everything instantly except for.
Is that even a word?
Yes.
I was going to say, can we get that checked over at the table?
That's a borism.
Boar's been doing awesome.
It is
euphemisms.
It's a word. It's like with the tokens.
Hey, he went to Pius, so anyway, go ahead.
Because I cared about my education.
He went to Pius?
Because he cared about his education.
I
Did you hear that?
about his education.
There you go, Miller. There's your plug.
Wow.
There's your plug.
Wow.
But what I was going
You're
with
not
is.
That is a word.
I know.
In the dictionary, it is a word.
Oh,
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Gamification.
Here it is.
Wait, did you look it up on
Just
your
in case
phone?
you're wondering, I did look it up on my phone. Gamification. Amy Duncan pulls it up. Here it is.
Shocking.
The
I can't believe she can
application.
spell it, but
Yeah, gamification.
See that high dollar
There you
price
go.
Well,
education paid off.
If you would have had your dictionary here, you could have picked it out. But now you have a technology/phone that you can
It's
find
the
that at.
application of typical elements of game playing, example, point scoring, competition with others, rules of play, to other areas of activity, typically
I'm a little worried.
typically
Kyle's
as an
a gamer.
online marketing technique to encourage engagement with a product or service.
So, for instance, Snapchat, they added the gamification part was your streaks of, I can't lose my streak of 16, 17, 100 and something days. They added that to force people on their app every single day.
I think Ray owes you an apology.
I think everybody does. Anyways.
Well, I just questioned it. I didn't say
we
that
totally
it wasn't
interrupted
word.
it.
I heard
I
Ray go,
didn't
Kyle, you're an idiot.
No, I did not.
It's all right. It happens a lot.
No.
So the only two things that you can't get instantly is friendships and relationships and job satisfaction or being good at a sport. You can't be a good pitcher overnight. You're going to struggle. You're going to have your ups. You're going to have your downs. You're going to have your goods, your bads, everything. But it takes time in the process. And back to the mountain, you're going to have to climb that up. And the phones have made kids
That was a great point.
not want to go through that process because they rage quit. They don't want to play anymore. Fine, I'll just do something else and move on to this. And then they never have any, they don't really plant deep roots.
Is it fair to say this ties into the everybody gets a trophy a little bit?
That's kind of how I tied it in.
Gratification.
Yes.
Well, it's
not gamification, gratification.
It's a whole lot easier to stay inside in the air conditioning and play something on your phone or your computer.
Hey, I was upset we were doing this thing outside right now.
It's pretty nice out now.
Because I was like, man, it's summertime. What are we doing when I walked up? But it's nice.
It's a beautiful night.
I'm okay.
It's been the weirdest July.
I've had my phone with me, so I feel okay.
You can check the temperature and if it's going to storm or rain on us.
Right. By the way, Danny Sigmund, thanks for being on. We appreciate that. One of the coaches out there for the American Legion District 13. By the way, District 13 already had a shakeup here. Bonterre beats DeSoto 6-3 tonight. So that's already starting out of the out of the chute here with some upsets. But Danny Sigmund, he says the Rapsodo pitching machine. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Giving kids spin rate, etc. No needs that. I guess no one needs that.
Well, there's so many of them out there.
What is he saying?
Well, it's like the thing when you hit and it gives you what your launch angle.
Well, that Rapsodo does that.
Yeah, Rapsodo does all that, right?
But there's a multitude of them. That's a rare word, right?
Hey, multitude
of them.
The new guy's elevating that.
Sorry, I'm bringing it down, but they're bringing it up.
You're from Pacific.
I don't use a lot of syllables.
Syllables.
But did you care about your education too?
No, I we don't even want to go with my education. That's why I worked for Chrysler for 25 years out of high school.
Ray, my wife just texted me this. You better not be thinking about me when it comes to ordering something and having it the next day.
I was going to refrain from saying anything because he mentioned relationships. I'm like, you technically can nowadays order relationships overnight.
Well,
he has a point.
Technically you can. I'm just saying.
I have this conversation with my wife a lot about going to a store to buy something instead of buying it online, and she says that it costs her more for us to go to the store because I pick up not only that item, but I pick up 10 other ones that I wouldn't have picked up
and
if I would have
pretzels.
Yeah,
and
if I wouldn't have picked up my phone and said, "Order me this, this, and this," and
I
that's
would
it.
still go to the store. I want to talk to a real person.
I agree.
I don't do the.
Did you guys know Kyle's 84 years old?
Yes, I am. My neighbors make fun of me. I still use TripTics when I go on vacations.
I don't even know what the
world is that?
What is TripTics?
Wow.
Well, the old man over here knows what it is.
Back to the table. Ray, can you Google that, please?
We're going to work.
I thought you were saying Ray should know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's
I
with
don't.
I've never heard of that in my life.
No, man.
It's with AAA, and they give you the map, and it's in a booklet for you.
I had AAA, but I've never got TripTics.
You can go to a AAA store, and they can actually they'll map out your trip.
AAA stores?
Yeah, there's a place.
Hey,
and you
Kyle
can go.
also has AARP.
Well, I know.
Now wait a minute here.
Hey, I can't wait till I'm 55. I'll be retired.
Now we're getting into age shaming here. But
The old man
I
here
don't
is
know what
spoken
TripTics is because I actually use an atlas.
Oh my God!
An atlas.
I haven't seen one of those in years.
I hate using this as a map to find things.
Hey,
I would rather just have.
I
the
want to
map.
be able to see where I'm at in the state right there.
Yes.
So you
and I follow it in with the city that I come
Hey, can
to.
you TripTics me how to get home from here?
and hey, there's this new thing called MapQuest.
What's that?
Exactly.
I use it. I hate Maps.
Isn't it Google Maps now?
Google Maps.
Yeah,
I like. I was
use
Waze.
Man, because
see, though.
it's gotten me out of a lot of tickets. Because people put on there, man. That got me out of one this weekend.
But you know what? But all points down to is technology.
Like,
Right.
And I think
there's the
technology has changed
everything.
Yep. But I think in high school sports, you look at the technology side of it. As far as coaches say it, I mean, how many times do we just say, hey, send an email up to somebody and say, hey, would you mind sharing your film with me, instead of going and watching that game myself and taking notes?
Or I text Kyle and I say, will you send me the scout on us that's 27 pages?
Yes, you might do that. You might do that.
Hey, I'm not joking. Bor Spools told me, he's like, dude, this guy is detailed out the wazoo.
It didn't help though. We still lost by 30.
But his kids got better by your scouting report. I promise you that.
I go, this guy said you're bad at this. You're good at this.
Well, but think about it.
Just don't give it the blossom. He'll change it up.
When all you guys were athletes, we didn't have all that information. I didn't know that
shoot.
A lot of times I didn't know that, number 55 is their worst offensive lineman, or we're going to attack this person. Or our coaches may have known, but us as players, we just went out and played. I didn't have a whole lot of scouting.
Yeah.
I would go on STL today and know who the top 3 assists were, who the top scores were.
I graduated in 94.
I was 06.
So, okay.
Oh, my God.
STL today stats didn't start till what? 1999, I think. So
No, they were around before then. They were around 1999.
1999 as far as you can go back.
Your oldest daughter is actually older than me. I was 87.
So
that's scary.
That's hilarious. But
hey, so no joke, coaches, how they had to get their stuff back when I was in school. I mean, it was a phone call. Hey, we're going to meet me halfway, and I don't care if I got to drive across the freaking state. I'm going to get your video, and it's all VHS tape or high 8, any of that kind of stuff.
I picked up
it was,
DVDs.
I've
I
had
had to
absolutely.
drive. I had to meet
That's the way it was.
people. And
I picked VHS up.
I was lucky enough that I got to work with Alan Davis last year at DeSoto.
Mm-hmm.
And he would take the recorder and go to games and record them.
Yes.
Right.
And he would go to watch and record games that he's already beat the team like 2 times that year already.
Doesn't matter.
And he would record it, but he would also listen to what the coach called, so he could say inbounds play, he would say Eureka.
Right.
And he would know what that was, and he
We
would
do
draw
that.
it out.
Yes.
Allegedly.
And
Carolina.
And I would say, Coach, well, we
Carolina?
already beat these teams like twice. What are you worried about them in the district for? How they may put something in new.
Yeah.
But that's what he would do because he was the old school. They never.
Yeah.
They had. I mean, that was 2012, so
Right.
there
They're
was.
good. That's
I
why
know they're
that's
good.
I still go scout live.
I 100%
Huddle
agree.
is awesome.
Yeah.
More for stats, I think, and kids being able to send film and that kind of stuff. But
Right.
you can't hear.
No.
Even when the volume when they do send you one with sound,
That's why
it's
you
still not
you
good.
trust you trust your video to live stream STL.
It's from here to the
my
the
athletic
door.
director Jerry Collins. Did you hear that?
Thank you very much.
But if you from here to that door, I can't hear what that coach is calling.
Right.
When the camera's up here, and so I think that as far as you say, technology has changed the game.
Yep.
What you got over there?
You can put them on the table and eat them.
Yeah,
gosh.
those are allowed on the table
because those are the specialty of TJ's Bar and Grill.
Yeah,
here
their
in
wings are
Cleveland.
good.
But technology and how it's changed high school sports, I think, in 2 ways. I think the athletes now have a better understanding of stats because they watch and they look up that
You
stuff.
can be like Miller and sit right behind my bench while my game's going on. Hey,
I've
what's up,
sat
dude?
on
I've done
someone's bench and scouted them.
Even better. But I think that
I scout summer league.
I think
You
the
are
biggest
insane.
3rd grade. He's
He
done.
does.
Yeah.
the biggest thing about it is I think that kids now keep track of those things and look up stats and are, because of technology, they've been able to do that and not rely on what your coach is saying.
Hey.
They go above and beyond and try
Does
to figure
that ever hit
out.
a negative though?
Well, that's what I was getting ready to
Okay,
go
good.
to.
Yeah, 'cause
and-
it does.
Because I, as a coach, said, "Hey, you got to watch this kid. He's shooting 45%." No, coach. I looked it up. He's shooting 34%. And then all of a sudden, now you've lost that maybe credibility with that kid, or the flip side of that. Hey, coach, I'm shooting 65% from the 3-point arc right now, and I'm not. I'm only playing 8 minutes a night. Why is Johnny
Which girl's
playing?
that?
None
And why do you have a girl named Johnny?
But no, Johnny is.
We're trying to beat you this year.
Johnny's shooting 45%, and
That's a little better.
He's playing 24 minutes a night. So why is that?
Well, and not only that, the parents look at the
Oh, my
stats online,
gosh,
and I've been told to make
That
sure
hurts,
that
too.
I've been told by administrators in the district, athletic administrators in the district before to
Was
make
that-
sure I get my stats in online.
Oh, yeah.
Did
my
you see
gosh.
how big
Because
that
they don't want
bug was?
parents
I did.
calling and complaining.
Well, I think the biggest part of that is
It won't
is-
come back because it saw this.
is-
I'm so sorry, guys. This
Can
is so
you mute
hilarious
him?
over here.
We're having a turn of real conversation.
You're the one
I
that
am
jumped
so
out of your chair
sorry.
because a June bug this big hit you in the chest.
Hey, all I know is, and I apologize, that I
Outdoor.
totally cut in this. Hey,
Outdoors.
we're outside.
Mothra-
there was
Mothra just attacked
There
the
was a
table.
moth the size of a freaking monster that just
Yes.
swung by Josh Spool.
I
So
didn't
even see it.
His cat-like reflexes and his cat-like karate skills.
I give that
took
to
care of
my
that. There you
2-year-old Grayson. He gives me a lot of that.
My apologies.
karate chop. But I think when you look at as far as that goes, when I think a lot of times, we're so far behind because if you go 2 days without putting your stats in, somebody's complaining. Somebody wants to know. And, as far as technology and how that's changed it, I think that's made, one, that's made kids worry about stats more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not worried about just playing the game and understanding
And I'd say the
their
wrong
role.
stats.
Well, and then we go back to that role play.
Role player, those stats don't matter.
We've taken away the role player in every sport. In general. I mean, you talk about a kid that's on base percentage is 900, but their batting average is 185, but they're finding a way to get on the base. And so, is that important? Is that just as important as a guy that's batting 500? But,
not to kids.
Well, I had one. He led off for me.
Yeah,
he can run the bases really well. He didn't hit a whole lot. I mean, he hit, but he got hit. He walked. He found ways to get on base.
Absolutely,
and he ran the bases really well. And he led off for me the whole year, and he was really good at it.
Yeah,
and so but as a coach, you got to try to tell them. The kids coming up, the stories.
I can hear Jarvis
this can happen.
I'm sorry, Coach. Coach, I apologize, but
he's distracted.
When the wing went in, and I could hear the.
But the stat keeper, the stat parent, the stat
Parents.
kid,
right.
the stat administration. I mean, I'm going to go all about it. I mean, everybody is looking at numbers.
But see,
everybody's
I
looking
think
at
we
what
need
stats
to do a
will
better
say.
job as a coaching staff to teach the kids what numbers to look at.
Well,
I don't care if a girl's averaging 20 points a
Need to
game.
start younger.
If she's averaging, her shooting percentage is 12.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're shooting way too much, and your efficiency is actually low,
Right.
and you're actually hurting our team than helping it.
Or-
You're just shooting that much more than everybody else, so that's why you have that many.
Or she scored 20 a game, but the person that she's guarding scored 34.
Correct.
Maybe like hockey would have plus minus here.
Well, amen. That's the only stat I give my kids.
Well,
is a plus minus.
Yeah.
Ray, I know there's one coach in Jefferson County always has his stats in pretty much.
That's true. That's
almost
true.
the day
so
of the game.
it's so funny that you were saying, well, a couple of days go by and everybody's after you, and I raised my hand. I'm like, I want your stats.
that would be him.
Please give me your stats. And the reason why is what?
My stats are always
what's the reason why? What's the reason why?
Well, it's better.
Well, because you want to publicize these kids, and it's hard to do that
Exactly.
if their stats aren't in. And
Hey,
as a
Franklin
parent,
County-
I've seen that.
Right.
Franklin County, there were coaches that thought that strategically hurt them. So they did not put fouls.
Yeah.
They did
Right.
not put certain stats.
Right.
I'll give you all their names. I'll write them down and put it on a big old board.
And you want to know who they are? They're folks that care about nothing. In all honesty, they think they're protecting their kid. They're actually hurting the organization more than anything else.
I knew Ray was going to get fired up on the
Don't get me
stats.
fired up on I'm
McVay-
going to give that karate chop.
McVay's always 7 girls, only had one turnover all
There
year.
it is. See? I karate chopped it right over to you.
But I think it boils back down to winning.
Right.
We're focused on winning.
Right.
Compared to focused
Do
on
you think the ones that withhold that think they're going to win every week or every time?
Well,
I don't think so.
I
Well,
do
they're
think so.
trying to.
I think
trying to.
I've always felt
I think it's cheating.
I got to put them in there because
Right.
I want everybody to know what my kids are doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think for the most, this county does a really good job most of the time.
Yes.
You know?
I agree.
But
if you go
there's
south-
counties
Hey,
south,
list
you're
of
not gonna get
things
it.
this county does well. Put in stats.
Put in
List
stats.
is done.
Right. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong
Hey,
with
get
that.
his butt back up there across the Merrimack.
Hey.
We got to wrap up here,
I
guys.
just kidding.
We do. We got to
Hey,
wrap
but
up here.
Ray,
Go
before
ahead.
we go
Yeah.
here, I want to thank these guys for coming on tonight. You know, a great show. I appreciate you guys coming on, and you know, we did this last minute kind of thing, but with adding you guys on here this afternoon. But I think it was a great show. I think a lot of people got a lot of information out of this show. Maybe that just want to be informational. I think sometimes we get into tunnel vision as far as the coach's box goes about talking about certain things every week.
Right.
But I think some of these topics, some kids, some parents, some coaches, anybody probably needs to hear or wants to talk about, but never gets a chance to and express it. So I thought tonight was a good opportunity for the community, the viewers, the people that have watched our show. I mean, you saw a bunch of questions here, a bunch of topics, a bunch of comments, probably on tonight's show that were than normal as far as viewership and opportunity to buy in. So guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. You'd love to have you guys more often.
Yeah.
I think this is something that we want to start moving forward with a little bit more, is having other viewpoints, necessarily just ours.
The Miller spot or the McVay spot?
Both. I would like my face on there twice.
My gosh.
The back of my head and the front of my head, if that's okay.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Hey, with what Riley said, I appreciate everything you guys do. I watch all the time, and people are still learning
comment
about
sometimes too.
I give Jarvis a little trouble because I like him.
It isn't just me.
He's the fourth leg.
Miller's not here.
Right.
We can't talk about the anchor.
Oh, my God.
I just want to. I want
man.
to say this: as much as I could sit here and just complain or argue this, I love coaching. I appreciate parents. I appreciate administration. I appreciate everybody. Without all that, we couldn't do what we're doing.
Agreed.
Yeah, sure.
I think we all would like it to maybe get a little better, move in a better direction.
Well,
Did John Clark get on?
He's not the principal no more, but I still, hey, Dr. Clark, I still love you.
I'd like to say this.
John Simpson?
Had a situation this year that proves that kids will surprise you in how they react in time of emergency.
You definitely did.
And, I mean, I don't want to get into it, but I guess everybody knows it goes out there or whatever. But the whole thing wasn't about me. It was about how well the kids performed.
Yeah.
And as a team in that situation, and that was unbelievable. And
there was no
as
training
bad as
for
we
that.
want to talk about how kids are nowadays, there's also there
so
can
many
be
some
darn
really
good.
good ones.
They
Yep.
can be darn good.
You know what? And there was no training in that point.
No,
there was
there was
nothing to train them to.
No, we never
to
worked
that
on that in
situation.
practice.
No.
Why can't we just want them all to be good?
But
I don't get it. Why can't we do that?
I love what he's saying here, because I read the article in the Leader this week about your situation. I mean, he was had a tragic accident, and at practice, got hit by a baseball, and basically put him to his legs. And the kid's reaction, the kid's quick reaction, probably saved him. I mean, as much as you want to say that. I mean, out of blood,
it wasn't
you
that
never know.
bad. I mean, it wasn't.
But you never know.
The way they coordinated everything, it was like, it was like as a team, and it wasn't something that it wasn't like a coordination of playing a game or doing a relay or a double steal or anything like that. It was something that we never worked on, but they knew exactly what to do, and all of them did it. Wait a minute, and they all had different roles, and it didn't matter what roles it was at that time in the time of emergency.
Absolutely.
Then that shows what you're doing is the right thing.
I agree, Coach. Yeah, kudos to you.
That's
Kudos
pretty
to
cool.
you.
Well, it's not me. It's the kids. I don't,
But you know
I didn't
what?
do nothing. So
You're
did
guiding
something
them in
stupid
the
and got
right
hurt.
direction.
But
Hey,
You're
you'll
guiding
probably
them in
get
the
a
right
raise.
direction.
You'll probably get a raise.
No, I don't get that.
When we do something good, we get a raise. Oh. We don't use the R word in coaching.
Never.
Well, you didn't do. You lost. You're the first loser. You can't beat Incarnate Word.
Man. Hey, the basketball academy is tough to beat.
Josh
What was that Herky score again? I mean,
Hey, by the way, if you guys ever want me back and Kyle's here, I'm not coming.
But once again, Ray, we'll turn it over to you. But guys, thank you for coming
Yeah, it
out
was
tonight.
fun.
Appreciate it. And the biggest thing I want to say is thank you to TJ's Bar and Grill here in Peevely for graciously allowing us today. I mean, last minute.
I just want you to shut up so I can eat my wings, man. Come on, let's go.
You can eat them all night.
Hey,
But
let's thank Jarvis for showing up and having some wings.
fashionably late, but we got it.
There it
here.
is. There it is.
So thank you again to TJ's here.
And their wings are dynamite. Come here and have some.
Yes.
Appreciate it, and
Unbelievable.
thanks for their hospitality.
Unbelievable. And I'll tell you this right now. Oh, there she is. There's my backup there, my backup producer, Amy Duncan. Thanks for being with us too. And guys, real quick at the very, very end here, I had some folks pop on here, and Danny Sigmund, yes. I do want your starting lineup, even though the game's probably going to be later this season, or this week, I should say. Yes, I want your starting lineup now. So, we're sticklers on it. But you know what? We want to bring a good product. That's the reason why we do what we do. But thanks, guys, for being on here, and we appreciate it. Thanks for watching Coach's Box. Somebody's telling me something. One more thing. Last comment. Oh, who do I got to turn on? Go ahead.
The last comment that I want to mention out there is, Michelle Gebhardt says that you get credit, not raises, and I think that's a very important thing.
Yep.
And as a lot of coaches sometimes, a lot of people think that coaching is all about money.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we try to do the right thing for kids, and credit goes a long way.
Right.
Compared to that money. I mean, the hours we
none
spend,
of us
so.
are doing this for money.
Shoot, no, we wouldn't be doing it if we us. So,
And I didn't mean it.
some.
I didn't mean it that way, commenter.
No, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate parents and viewerships reading that.
There it is. There it is.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right. Thanks so much again for being on the Coach's Box and watching the Coach's Box today. Thanks, Amy Duncan. She's been great to help train here right now, to be our backup producer, and we'll be back here next week again. The rest of this week will be check out our Facebook page. We've got the schedule going on right now. But thanks again for watching us. For Ray Halbrook, others at Livestream STL. Have a great day.